Madden 26 is right around the corner, and we have everything we need to know about the game damn near already. I know I'm making this video a little bit late as there has been a ton of news that's come out on Madden in recent days, but I wanted to collect all the information, get everything I needed, and make a video about it. As you guys know, I'm a very big Madden player myself. I've played at a very high level a few years back, and I expect to get kind of back into that this year, and that's going to come with a lot of changes to this game. As you guys know, it is contract year for EA. They need to ball out with this game, so I'm expecting some major changes if they want to re-sign with the NFL and not lose those rights to someone like a 2K. With that being said, a lot of the creators you've seen make videos on Madden are sponsored by EA. I am not sponsored by EA, so I can shit on EA, and that's probably what we're going to do a little bit in this video, but I am excited about a lot of things as well. So let's just get straight into the information. We're going to do offense first, of the offensive changes that are kind of the big things, the big real kind of gameplay points that we have to point out, as well as some defensive changes, and we're going to split those two up, and then I'm going to come together and do my overall take. I'm going to try to keep this video short so you're not watching a 26-minute yap sesh, so we'll keep it short. But the run game, that is going to be changed. There's movement changes in the run game. Not only can you run with your quarterback and juke this year, but each player has their own movement. Now, this is going to be very similar to somewhere like the MLB, the shows of the world, to the 2Ks of the world, where everyone kind of has their own jump shot. Everyone has their own swing, and one swing might be better than another. One jump shot might be better than another. That's kind of what it's going to be for EA this year, and I'm very excited about that because someone like a Saquon Barkley might have 99 speed, but feels slower than someone like a CJ2K who also has 99 speed just because of their running movement. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, or if it's even as big of an effect as we are thinking it's going to be. As someone who plays both MLB and 2K, I feel like this is a pretty big jump when they compare things to these games, as when you have a player with a bad swing on MLB, almost no one will use him. So if someone has a really bad running style or runs very blocky or is going to get tripped up more than a different person, I expect him to kind of just not be a meta card and to fall off very easily. So I'm very excited to see how that works. If you guys also don't know, I'm talking mostly almost everything from the MUT perspective. I'm not really talking too much about the franchise perspective, as I play a good amount of franchise, but not as much as a lot of the creators you guys see. So I'm gonna be talking mainly from a MUT, a card, a player perspective from that sense. But guys like Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, I'm expecting to be very, very high-end cards early into the game because I think they're gonna have very good running styles and be kind of the fastest cards in the game. With that being said, this is going to be a very cut style offense, as every single card, QB card, or every single player is going to have a hot route master. So you're going to have a Jalen Hurts with a hot route master as soon as the game drops, due to the fact that every single card has it baked in. It's no longer an ability. So it's going to play a lot like Cut did last year, to where you can have all of these route stem trees without the ability. Do I love that? I honestly don't think I do, because it gave I understand it's an extended ability. I understand that, but it gave the pocket passers kind of that little bit of an advantage over the running style quarterbacks that weren't able to unlock it right away, which made the game feel a little bit more fresh from that August to October, November, where if you had a pocket passer, you had hot route master. If you didn't have a pocket passer, you didn't have hot route master, and you had to adjust accordingly. Now everyone has it. I don't know if I love it. I think it's going to turn into a little bit more of an offensive game, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we go to the defense side of things, but it is no longer ability. And from what it looks like, set feet lead is insane this year. The ability set feet lead, you're going to be able to throw absolute piss missiles. You're going to throw absolute piss missiles straight to whoever you're trying to throw to, which is going to be absolutely nuts. It was a little bit nerfed last year, and we kind of had to kind of play with it, and it didn't feel as OP. This year, it doesn't look like it. So set feet lead is going to be insane, as well as the aggressive catches, as everybody is talking about so far. The aggressive catches look like 2000 or Madden 16, Madden 17, where you just hold Y, you hold triangle, and you pray. It's looking like we're going to get a lot more of that. I'm excited for the new animations that we're getting with that. We're supposed to get a lot of stuff. So again, I'm going to expect bigger cards are going to be very OP in this game. High catch and traffic is going to be very valuable. Guys like T. Higgins, Mike Evans, the guys that are 6'4", in the Randy Mosses are going to be 6'4" and above. Calvin Johnson, they're just going to be the absolute best cards. And Steve Smith, see you later, sadly. But there's also a bunch of new formations and new plays. We're getting a ton of new formations, which is going to inevitably equal more plays. This is going to create a very hopefully open discrepancy between playbooks. As of right now, a lot of the playbooks are very condensed. You kind of just have the main playbooks that everyone's using meta-wise. This year is a little bit more spacious, as some people would run the birds, some people would run the Saints. I ran the running gun for a little bit. I know some people ran some other off-brand playbooks as well, but there's a ton of different. The Chiefs were a big one this year, so there's a ton of different playbooks hopefully coming, a lot of different playbook changes, excuse me, that are coming to where we could maybe add in some offenses that we didn't use last year that we could kind of expect to maybe have a little more fun with this year, or just some of our old playbooks, like the Patriots was a very good one for a very long time, that we could kind of throw in and get re-upped and re-amplified, and we could kind of keep using those with some new formations, new plays. There also is a bunch of throw out of sack interceptions this year. So instead of someone throwing out of a sack and it just falling to the ground every time, there's going to be a lot more interceptions by D linemen. D linemen are going to be a lot more involved, so it should be interesting to see kind of how that is. I didn't dive too much into that, but I did see that is definitely a note. That could be very fucking annoying. Could be very annoying on blitzes. Could be very annoying, but we'll see how it plays out. As again, I don't think there's a ton in real life throw out of sack interceptions, but maybe I'm the one that's wrong. We'll see. Drag out, speed out, slot seams look like the best hot routes. Those are kind of the ones that everyone are using. It's going to be very interesting to play against and to play with this year. I'm worried about two things. I'm worried it's going to feel more like cut. Last year, if you remember, cut, you had to score 70 points to win your game in any competitive game, unless you're playing someone that wasn't as good the game or you're playing a lower level player. Like, I would have to shoot out 77 to 71 to win a game. I hate that style of Madden. So I really, really hope, and that's why I didn't play a lot of cut last year, because I thought that was it's really fun to the casual franchise player that just doesn't have the team to score a lot of points. But when you're playing cut, you're playing mutt, and you have good offenses, and you can't stop them on defense because this doesn't work, zone doesn't work here, and the offense has every ability in the game. They have every hot route in the game. It kind of makes it very tough to stop them on the defensive side of the ball, but we'll see if that's with Madden this year. I don't think it is by the movement changes and a few other things. I don't think they're leaning to that arcadey style, though. I don't think I'm going to be too wrong on that. I think we're going to be able to see a little bit more offense from Madden, but hopefully it's not too OP. Obviously, QB ball carrier out behind the line of scrimmage is going to be huge. Juke spins before throwing the ball. I'm very intrigued to see. I know some people played the game. I know I've talked to Bangle and whatnot that have already played the game, but I'm very intrigued to see for myself which running animations determine how fast a player can get the ball out. Probably gut, that doesn't make any sense. But what it does mean is, like, when you're juking and you're spinning, some players are going to have faster or slower animations themselves, to where if you have a player like a Josh Allen, he might be running slower with a bulkier animation. That might make it harder to get the ball off faster when you're trying to juke, spin, and get moving, compared to like a Kyler Murray that could be very fast, very quick twitch, and then boom, pop, and the ball's right out. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see how that works behind the scenes and to get my hands on the game to actually play it, though. Quarterback animations, more personalized QB animations, movement, realistic. We'll see how that works. I saw a few clips of quarterbacks throwing across their fucking body on the run. That is fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. If I get cooked by a quarterback throwing a 20-yard seed across his fucking body, I'm going to be fucking sick. That happens maybe once every like 3 games, accurately. And most of the guys that do it are Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and that's about it. There are not many times where I'm seeing guys like Dak Prescott escape from out of the pocket and throw an absolute seed across his body 20 yards across the field. It just doesn't fucking happen. So I'll be very pissed if that happens a lot. And I'm hoping that's not like an animation that also like the behind the juke. Like, I hope we're not seeing this very often in the gameplay. But if we are, that kind of is a downside for me. I think these unique animations should be made in unique times. I think these animations should not be happening every single game. If I see a behind the back jurtle, whatever the fuck it's called, not jurtle, a hurdle that's 360 no scoped, I don't want to see that every game. That happened one time in like the history of the NFL. Why are we adding it to games like that? That's going to be a common thing. Yeah, I hope it's really not. But heading on to the defensive side of things, we have a lot of defensive topics, and I'm a big defensive head. I like defense way more than I like offense. No baseline. That is huge. But we're replacing baseline because we get the Sam Will, the Mike, the edge, those sort of positions to kind of counter too, so you could kind of manage your team a little bit better, to where you can get them in position to make the most of things. Loop blitzes will not be as good. Thank God. Engage blitzes, where you can engage with your user, will not be as good. Thank God. Because those two things were absolutely broken as fuck in Madden 25. Those things were like, that literally made me stop playing the game when every single player had the stupid ass loop blitz here, and you had to adjust 17 times at the O line just to get it blocked correctly. Super fucking annoying. Very happy they fixed that. Safety depth and width. You can choose where your safeties line up on a play call. That is super awesome. You get your players in the box. Hey, they're running a ton of I form. They're running a ton of this. Bring your safeties into the box naturally. You don't have to run a blitz ahead of time and then have them drop back by changing the play call. So that's gonna be super nice. I think that's a very, very, very good add. D-line sheds are turned up. That's because the blitzes are turned down. So we'll see how OP that is to start the year. Normally D-line isn't the biggest factor in the beginning of the year, especially in mud, because you normally have some better O-line cards, but we're gonna see how that plays out. That's kind of more of a feel thing if they need to change that or not. Custom zones, much like college football, where you can custom stem a route. You're not gonna do that with the zone. Will allow deep zones to get deep and prevent some bombs. This is very interesting. I think realistically, this is going to be one of the biggest things they add. That and the route commit, which I'll get into a little bit. I think this is going to be massive, because I can adjust. If you're running a fucking goddamn corner route over and over and over again, I can put my zone exactly where you're going to run that at 15 yards, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, again, it's just going to make defense a little OP. I don't think so, because we have hot route master every single time, so I can adjust and move and stem whatever guys I want to. But we're going to see how it does on the defensive side of the ball. I really think this could be a big thing. I'm super excited about it. Stunts on the D-line, such as twists and whatever, are going to get great pressure. I'm not sure exactly what this is going to mean for normal setup offense, normal setup defenses. A lot of the setup defenses, like someone run a base 3-4 cover 4, and we're able to rock out, just like slant their line outside and just get pressure. So I'm excited to see what the audibles at the front line are. If you can audible your D-line into different blitzes like that. If I can come out just a base, let's just say a base 3-4 cover 4, and then I can audible to a stunt on the D-line, that would be absolutely sick. But we'll see exactly how that plays out. That's going to be more of a gameplay feel thing. I don't think it's the smartest thing, but again, it's a real life thing. So I really, 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 really hope and pray that it's not like the loop blitzes last year, and it's just now with the D-line. The route commit stuff, if someone spams a play for a lot, you commit your DB or an individual corner to a specific route. Again, it's a very high risk, high reward type of thing. So if you want to commit to a breaking route, whatever, they run a ton of hitches. It is very, very high risk stuff. As it's like run committing pretty much. It's just with a corner or whatever. So if that guy's running a comeback, and you're like, I gotta stop this comeback route, and then he runs a go, you're fried. Very high risk, high reward, but I think if you're playing some cones that can only span the same 3 plays, this is gonna be absolutely awesome. Then zone drops will sprint to their zones. There's no longer backpedaling, which resulted in wide receivers getting behind them a lot easier. So it should just help zones in general. It sounds like on defense, they made a lot more changes that I'm more excited about outside of kind of the D-line stuff. I'm really excited for the no baseline. I used to be a big baseline guy. But I'm very happy that they're getting rid of it, as I think it's going to allow for more creative defenses. And I think it's not going to be the same like meta defenses you're seeing every single week from every single player. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The overall wear and tear system is just like college football 25 wear and tear. Will make Madden adjustments. Is more for franchise stuff. You make adjustments make subs even more important, so your backups are going to matter way more. Obviously weather's getting a huge impact. This is nuts. I'm assuming this is going to be only really for offline, because if this is online weather shit, how many times do we get a fucking blizzard? Not very often. It's like maybe once a year you see like a blizzard game. Maybe. Realistically, the only blizzard game that still rings in our domes is from 2013, and when the Eagles played in it against the Lions. That's the only one that really rings in our domes. Oh my god, blizzard. Even last year, that snow game with the Browns and everything, that was only for 1/2. Are we gonna be getting online games where I'm getting blizzard out? That would suck balls. We'll see. Nonetheless, I think it'll be mainly an offline thing. I'm praying that it is. I think it's mainly just gonna be offline franchise or custom franchise stuff. I don't think it's gonna be like mutt or cut related, hopefully. With that being said, updated depth chart positions such as Sam, Mike, Will, Edge, and Long Snapper are added to the game. There's stuff like that, so it should help the game in general. My overall thoughts. I think we're going in the right direction. I'm worried that these little words are dropping of, hey, sheds are going to be turned up. Hey, stunts are going to play like loot blitzes. Like, are going very overlooked right now. And I'm really worried that those things are going to be very broken to start the year. And we're going to be very pissed off. The last thing I really want to be is super pissed off to start the Madden year with this gameplay. But overall, I'm very excited about it. We are getting a Jalen Hurts to start the year for Mutt that has all 32 chems. I don't know how much I like that start. I'm very pessimistic on how they're going to do theme teams this year. I didn't like the way they did theme teams last year. And I feel like we're going to go in the same direction, that there's just going to be a ton of cards that get 32 chems. And I really don't like that. I kind of like the whole idea of your theme team's your theme team. I hated the fact that I could have a Panthers theme team and have Randy Moss. I could have Aiden Hutchinson. I could have like a Jalen Hurts, all with Panthers chem, even though none of them have ever stepped foot on a field for the Panthers. So it's like a very interesting concept by that. I know some people love it because they get access to more cards in some niche positions, and Panthers, let me tell you, don't have great depth at some positions, but it's kind of that feel of you like to use your guys on your team sometimes compared to just the regular 32 guys. Otherwise, I'm going to have a team of just randos that just randomly have a Panthers chem or whatever chem. So I'm hoping they go more back to like real theme teams, but my gut says they're probably not, and I hope I'm wrong on that. But for the most part, I'm overall excited for the game. I think there's a lot of upside compared to the little downside. I think there are going to be a few things that are broken. I'm going to assume route commits are going to be broken. I'm going to assume the zone drops are going to be broken to start the year, and they're going to get fixed over time. But this is a contract year, so they have to ball out with these. They have to nail these. They have to get these right, because this is everything on the line. This is the contract year for the NBA player, contract year for the NFL player. You have to ball out. So I'm expecting Madden to be on their shit this year so they can get re-signed and slack off for the next 4 years. With that being said, if you enjoy this style of content and you're excited for Madden, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, all sorts of fun shit down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Peace.